Hey friends, thank you so much for joining me on this super fun video. It's one of the funnest themes I've ever photographed, the eras themes, and I love the backdrops for this. I actually also used them several other times, including for some all-star cheerleading pictures. These backdrops are just so much fun and have so many more purposes besides just the Swiftie / eras themed, concert backdrops. So I chose this one because I loved the background. I felt like it was super versatile. It's not just for, the eras shots. The floor is not just for the era shots. Like, they can be used for so many different purposes. Cake smash, themed, sequins, glitter sessions. Like, there's just so many different ways you can do that. And if you're on a budget as far as your backdrop purchases go, just always make sure that you are purchasing something that is versatile and that you can also use for other sessions, especially floors. This floor could also be used as a backdrop, not just the floor. And it's just cute. The colors are versatile and it's just a lot of fun. This is the backdrop I used. This is the floor I used. My setup, super easy. I pin my backdrop to the wall and then I tape down my floor onto a rubber back mat. And the reason I do that is because my studio floor is actually tile. And if I don't have that mat down, it gets slippery. And I tape it down so that when the girls move and do their little moves and everything, that, it doesn't go anywhere and it stays put and it stays exactly where I want it to be. So as you can see here, what I do is I tuck it at the top of the mat and then I tape it down on the perimeter. Tucking it really secures it on that far side where the backdrop is, and it just helps it, really stay put. So for the decor, I like to keep it simple. We're not trying to bust the budget with something that when I originally shot this, I wasn't sure if I was even going to do sessions with it yet. I needed to gauge interest. And so I just went to Hobby Lobby into the party section and thought, okay, what can I, put down? I need some disco balls. I need some, shiny things. And so what I found in this section were some balloons that were super cute that you just blow up with the straw and they self-seal. And then I went ahead and got the puffs that were kind of like an iridescent pearl look. Love them. Super cheap, super versatile. Can be used for a bunch of other different sessions. Like I said, those are from Hobby Lobby. So the mic was actually one that Channing brought from home. And it was crazy because the colors of the microphone actually went perfectly with the dress. And she already had that, and I can even link that microphone below if you would like to purchase that. It's super cute. She loved it. We all loved it. We enjoyed using it. She actually came with a heart drawn on one hand and her mom drew a 13 on the other hand, and I thought that was kind of a fun little touch. The dress, the boots she actually brought, the boots she already owned, and so that was fun. The little earrings, the little disco ball earrings, I actually picked up at Hobby Lobby for like $1, $2, something crazy amount. It was so cheap. They had them in several different colors. They were so cute. Then the dress is from Bentley and Lace. You can actually rent the dress. Adorable, was perfect. And you could also use it for princess sessions. There was also a high-low dress that coordinates with that, and it just worked out perfectly. And the colors in the sequence of the dress were just so pretty. Loved it. We really enjoyed this session, and we had a whole lot of fun. So whenever I went to edit these pictures, here's all of the poses that we did. I'll just go through them really quickly. They were so cute. So she did kind of like a little, I was like, okay, put your hands on your hips, and then 1, 2, 3, look at me. We did that, and we did back and forth, which is always a good one to get that skirt going. I found these fun little music overlays on Etsy, and I did some of that. Didn't finish editing that one out. This is edited identical to the one that I am about to show you with the confetti and the stars and everything. Super fun. I also had the fan blowing from the floor, and I had her hand, put her hand behind her head, and that was super cute. She brought, or no, I got the little glasses from Hobby Lobby when I found her earrings too. And so we thought those were cute. And so we just stuck those, on her head, and I just put all of the pom-poms and the disco balls around her, and that was super cute. And then had her, pose with her knee up. Then she brought in her little microphone, and that was just the cutest ever. And you can see the little heart on her and the little 13 on her hand. And we had her singing and looking at her mom. So cute. Made sure the fan was blowing so that we have all that movement in her hair. Stuck her over by the wall. That one was okay. It wasn't fave. This was cute too. I just didn't edit it because there were a lot of cuter ones. And then this was one of my favorite ones where I had her like throw her hand up in the air and turn. And, she killed it, of course. And this is the one that we're going to edit here in just a minute. So this is the crowd that I was talking about. That we're going to edit. So cute. Then I had her show me the back of her dress, and then 1, 2, 3, look at me. And then the hand up, close up, love, love, love. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to edit today. And so let's go. Hey friends, so we are going to go ahead and edit this Era's drop with the adorable Channing. She is the best model ever. I showed you guys all of this earlier. I showed you guys the dress, the setup, and everything. So now we're going to go ahead and edit it. And I have people asking questions about workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, this is where I pull it in. So I usually will call in Lightroom from the card, and I will just pull onto the card the images that I like the most. And everything else just gets trashed. If I even think I'm going to use it later, I save it. Otherwise, I don't pull it from the card. So these are, for example, the images that we shot 3 looks that day. And so these are all the images that I kept off of the card, and then it gets reformatted immediately. So the one that we're going to edit is the one with the crowd. I think it's 49.96. Where are you? Okay, it's up. So I shot these. I don't have room in my studio right now with all the dresses and backdrops that I currently own to shoot with lights. So I shot these in the front of my studio. If you've ever watched a studio tour, here you can see the window in the background. And so I shot this natural light. And natural light, now if you've been a photographer for a long time, you know that every single lighting setup has its challenges, even natural light. People seem to think that natural light is so much easier than anything else, and it has the same challenges just like everything else. So one thing that I do in quite a few, even studio, or even when I'm using my lights, I will bring down the highlights. I already know how I'm going to edit an image, and so I know that if I don't bring the highlights down on my raw file, that I'm going to blow them in Photoshop. And so I go ahead and bring them down so that I can then have control over popping them in Photoshop. And that's just how I like to edit. Now, this is literally straight out of the camera. You can tell that it's pretty much perfectly exposed straight out of the camera. And so this should always be your goal if your goal is to make money off of these type of sessions, because you want the least amount of work. After you push that button, you want the majority of your work to be with the client and making sure that they have a good time, you having a good time, getting the poses that you want, setting it up. Your time really shouldn't be spent in Photoshop. That's not where you really make your money. Where you make your money is with the client. So my goal is always to make sure that you guys have, editing options that will take you the least amount of time. And so to do that, we have to make sure that your straight out of camera image is set. Now, could I give her this? Yeah. Am I going to? No, because I can, put my finishing touches to it. The finishing touches shouldn't take you forever, I guess, is my point. The finishing touches are basically just the frosting on the cake. And we all have paid a lot of money for a cake that tasted like crap, but was really cute. And we don't want that. We want the good cake and the pretty frosting. So we had a good time. She had a good time. She loved it. Mom loved it. Set was cute. Now we're going to put the frosting on it. All right, so to do that, I bumped the exposure up just a teeny tiny bit, and then I brought my highlights actually down all the way on this one, and that's just how I did it. So I'm going to actually go ahead and export this. So this is where you're going to export it and where it's going to become a JPEG. This is just how I do it, and usually I will export a big amount of them, a larger amount of them at the same time. I'll just go through and usually whatever editing that I do in Lightroom can be applied to most all of the images that were taken in that, specific setup. I think this is what, no, that's not it. I already forgot. So I took these back in January, geez. Okay. So I'm going to choose to bring it here. Now it's going to yell at me and be like, yo, this already exists. And I'm just going to say use a unique name. Okay, so here it is. So we're going to pull this sucker up. So here's the actual unedited version, straight out of the camera. This is my brand new shiny little JPEG. That I just brought in or saved from Lightroom. So here is my edit. Now, it might not be exactly like this. Hello, I shot this and edited it in January. So we're going to do our best to remember what all I did. But I'm sure I can figure it out because I'm pretty, predictable. I use the same thing over and over. And then here it is adding the little crowd at the bottom, which is super, super fun. And they got a huge kick out of that, the kids and mom. So here's the original. Here's edited. Here's with the crowd. So first things first, if you've watched any of my editing videos, you know that the first thing we gonna do is we are going to edit some skin. Okay, so she's got... I was having her turn. I'm just using the, right here. I'm just using the spot healing brush on these. So what I was doing was I was having her turn and throw her hand up. And so that's probably why she was turning pretty hard and she had those wrinkles on her back. We've got this little piece of hair. It's going to be a non-issue here in just a second. I'm just using the patch tool to see how that's going to do. Pretty good. I'm going to try to delete. So if you've watched me edit at all, you know that I use a combination of different tools for this. Usually I will use my lasso delete method most, which is, pretty good most of the time. Right. And then I use that in a combination with this spot healing tool, brush, whatever. If you've ever watched my videos, you know. So let's clean up this lip. And that's pretty good. Because I can add... Let's clean this up too. So if this was for mom and this was I would do about that. Because I know that when I run portraiture on this, which is my skin smoothing software, it's going to clean this up a little bit more for me. I find on edges, sometimes this works a lot better. I'm good with that. So then I'm going to Command J and I'm going to copy this I'm going to copy my background layer, which is going to make me be able to make changes on a copy instead of the actual image so that then I can adjust those changes that I choose to make. They aren't permanently on that back layer or the original layer. So sometimes when the kids smile, they have these underneath their eyes, which is real. And sometimes if you take it away, it makes them not look like them. And so that's why it's also important to do these changes on you know, another layer so that you can adjust them. And I'll show you what I mean. So the way I kind of fix these is I use this clone step tool, and then I make sure that my clone stamp tool is on lighten. And then I'm going to use the option key to tell the brush where I want it to sample from. So for example, if I choose there, I'm going to be putting teeth under her eyes. If I choose here, I'm going to be putting, you know, the earring underneath her eyes. So where I'm going to choose is actually right here directly underneath this. And you can see that it just softens it. And then I can adjust that layer to where I like them. And so the way I kind of look at it as, if I had an appropriate reflector underneath her, it's going to bump light up into that space, and this is probably what it would look like. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. Okay, then I'm going to Command J again because we are going to add some eyelashes. So these eyelashes come from the Greater Than Gatsby Retouch collection. They come with the actions as brushes, and you load them as brushes. I can do just a video using these if you want. Comment below if you'd like that. So you can see there. Now, I don't do this on every image, but these, you know, Era's backdrops are, you know, made up. They're on stage. So I think of it as stage makeup. Okay, so I like that. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my soft round brush because I'm going to do my eye pop. And so that is also in the Greater Than Gatsby Portrait Retouched collection. Everything will be linked under this video. I like my all over eye foundation. And what we're going to do, we're just going to give those eyes a pop. Sometimes I'll do it in the middle too, and just kind of like use it as a highlight brush. All right, good with that. Then I'm going to go in with my lips and cheeks. So this is from a very, very old, oh my gosh, 2011. I've never noticed that. So this is from an old Florabella retouch and makeover action. You can try out different, you know, blush and lipstick brushes. This is just my personal favorite. And I'm just kind of not really, because this is what you guys came to see, but not really. We're just kind of, so cute. Okay, what I was saying was I'm not trying to do it absolutely perfect because I've already edited this before. Oh, she's so cute. Is she not so cute? She has a little stork right there. I'm going to choose to keep it. And I'm going to Command J. Now I'm going to go back just a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Sorry. The rosy lips and cheeks action that I just added, sometimes I will scale back on that. But like I said, this is a stage makeup and it can go a little bit darker because she's, you know, supposed to be on stage. And so I'm not going to scale it back. I kind of want it a little bit brighter and darker. Okay, so now we're going to do portraiture. And we are going to Command J, and I already did that to make myself a layer to work off of. And we're going to go to a filter, Imaginomic, and Portraiture 4. If it's not in your budget to do portraiture yet, I would hold off until Black Friday. They usually will have a sale, and that's about the only sale that I've ever seen them do. I need to contact them and see if they would give me a discount code. Anyway, okay, so this window is going to pop up, and I always make sure that I'm smoothing normal, and then I'm going to choose to tell it where I want it to smooth. And so my favorite place to choose is in between the eyebrows, and it does a great job, and you'll see. And this is also like for the stage, so sometimes I'll scale it back a little bit because I want it to look a little bit more natural, but I don't on this. I want it, to be a little bit more not realistic. I want it to be like she's on the stage, and I want it to be perfect, yada, yada. All right, so we've done all of that, and we're good to go with that. So now now these, I really did not do much as far as, actions. I used my standard Campbell soup cans from the Painterly Portrait collection. I probably used a little bit of a Leonardo from that also Painterly Portrait collection. It does pop those blues and purples a little bit intense, but I'm going to pull it back to about 27%. And I can always pull in, yeah, that looks about right. And then I have a feeling I probably did a center stage from the JD Illuminations Instant Overlays too. And I might have brushed it off a little bit. Yep. You can see that it pops the colors of the dress. And this is a good, so I personally love any dresses that have a lot of sequins. I just like to shoot natural light because it really makes those sequins pop. Okay, so you can see that it has, sometimes this overlay that I absolutely adore will make their legs a little bit orange. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to brush that off real quick. So I'm going to, what I just did it without sharing with you guys. Hold on. So when you have your action or overlay on a layer, they sometimes will automatically add a layer mask. And that layer mask lets you manipulate the exact layer. And so like if I choose, so this layer mask is white. So if I choose my black brush, I'm taking it away. If I choose my white brush, which is the same as the layer mask, I'm putting it back. So so I took it off of her legs and everything else looks exactly the same. So I guarantee you that's what I did. Because I'll take it off and show you. It adds like light at the top and adds a little bit of warmth. Loves it. Okay. Boop. Boop. So we're going to go ahead and flatten that. And that looks like about all I did there, honestly. And I'm actually going to go into my overlays. So I have these confetti glitter overlays. Actually, you know what I did? So as you can see, I wanted to add some of the cute little stars. And so I'm pretty sure, I'm wondering which one I used. I bet it was this one. Let's see. Sorry, you guys, about the email. I'm wondering. So these PNGs that you can get, they come in black, but you've just got to turn it to screen. That's all you have to do. Well, who cares? Because I like the way that looks. So we're going to use that. Okay. So I love that. Let me see if there's any that I don't want. No, they're all positioned well. Okay. So I need to add a little bit of a blur to these stars because they don't go blend in with the background very well. Like when I look, I can see these stars first. So I want to change the opacity a little bit, but I also want to make them a little bit blurry. So while that layer is chosen, I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. So I'm going to add a little bit of motion to it. But then also I'm going to go back to Blur and I'm going to do Gaussian Blur and I'm going to add, not that much, a little bit more than that though. Yeah, there we go. Just where it starts to sort of blend into the background, and then I'm going to bring it down until her face is still the star of the show. Then I'm going to go back, and I feel like I also added this one. I don't think it was that one. Let's try this one. Let's see what it looks like. Doesn't have to be exactly like the original. Remember, change it to screen. Oh, that is so cute. I don't care if it's like the original or not. We're using it. Okay. I go back to filter. We're going to go add a little bit of motion blur because they're stars and they're moving. I'm going to go back to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I liked the amount that I had on the last one, so I'm going to keep it with that. I don't care for this weird star that's in between her knees, so we're going to go ahead and put a layer mask on that so that we can manipulate that layer. I want to take away, so since the layer mask is white, I'm going to make sure my brush is black, and then I'm just going to take away whatever I want. I don't like that one either. I'm going to go ahead and do it around her face and her arms because I don't really want any stars on her face. Love it. Now we're going to bring the opacity down just a smidge. Okay, loves it. Okay, I like the way that looks, so I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. That is so cute. Like, and you could leave it like that and you're good to go. But then in the other one, we're going to add some confetti. I bet it's this one. Yep. Okay, so 30 colors confetti overlay is an awesome one. Let me figure out which one it was. I'll bet it's this one. Yep. Okay. So we're going to take it like that. Actually, it might not be this one, but this one works. So cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, I'm going to bring the opacity down just a smidge, and then we're going to go back and add some motion blur because it's moving, it's confetti. It's not sitting still, it's fluttering. And then we're going to go ahead and add a Gaussian blur to that. And as you'll see, there's one on her cheek. I don't want that, so I'm going to go down here and add a layer mask. And then with my black brush, I'm going to brush it away. Loves it, loves it. Okay, you could literally keep it like that. Easy peasy. Or we're going to add that crowd. All of my stuffs, my elements, I call them, I put in an elements file, and then I will have them all in folders that will remind me what they were. So this one is crowds, and I will link this below, but it comes with a bunch of different versions. It comes with an Illustrator version. It comes with a, SVG, but we're going to use the PNG. And I'm going to use this one, the one that says 28. And whenever I thought of this idea, I thought, oh my gosh, that would be so cute if there was a crowd. Okay. Well, then I put the crowd in like this, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't like that. Like, that doesn't look real. So I went back in my camera roll, and I thought, I wonder what it looks like. Like, let's say that I was at a Channing concert, and I took a picture through the crowd, and I looked back to see what it looks like. So when I went back and I looked, I noticed that when I took pictures of the stage, the rows in front of me were slightly blurry, and then sometimes they would reflect the whatever stage lights were, on. So like if this was a darker, you could add, a colored layer over this. So let's say the lights were purple. Use your eyedropper tool, use the color purple, make sure it's selected over here. Go to your square, okay, put that over it. Option Command G is going to mask it over that. And then you're going to add kind of a purple shade to it. Not a lot, but a little bit. And you can change the blending mode or keep it on normal. And you don't want it like super purple, but you want it kind of, okay? Then you can Command J and copy. I'm going to mask that back to that. Then I'm going to take this behind it And now it really looks like a crowd. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the opacity way down on this one. And now you have a crowd. And then it looks realistic instead of like you just slapped a cloud or a crowd overlay on it. So there you go. That was like probably a little bit too easy. I hope you guys aren't disappointed that it was that easy. But that just shows you how quickly you can edit a bunch of pictures. Like, you know, from one session, if it's that easy, you know, to edit all of these, then you should be making money because you're not spending your time behind the computer. You're spending your time with your clients, which is, you know, really what matters. I really loved this session. It was so cute. There's the original. And this is the one that we just did. Love it, love it, love it. The confetti is a little bit smaller, but I like this too, just the same. Everything will be linked below. I hope that, you know, you learned some things in here. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Everything will be linked below. If you guys see something that I post that you would like to see, you know, edited, just let me know. And I would love to do that for you guys. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.